Hello everyone. Welcome to our channel Infra Experts. Thanks for visiting the channel. Today we'll be discussing about our self-scripting session, and today's topic will be break and continue. Here we'll be discussing here on break and continue, and also how do we build a proper menu. For building proper menu we'll be using the command select construct. We will further go deep into variables. In case if you only want numbers or strings to be accepted by the variable. In case you want to define a variable as a read only, that means only once the variable is defined, no one can change the value of it. Only you can do that. Only the user from which the read only has been applied can do that. In case you want to look into certain topics, you can do that. So we will look into this in this today's session. So let us start the session. So at first, break built-in. What is it? The break statement is used to exit the current loop before its normal ending. We saw this earlier in our previous session about break, how we were breaking it. You can see here since we were quitting, if q variable has been defined, if q is the input from the user, then it will be breaking from the loop. So we will be discussing further on break in here. This is done when you don't know in advance how many times the loop will have to execute, for instance, because it is dependent on user input. So let us start with say sample example using break. I'll just copy it first before I explain you the statement. And let me put it in here. And let me save it. Let me cat it to explain. So the first thing, infra, this variable is taken from this output, and we already have this in our already did this in our previous lab. So we already have this. And what is it in here? It will be giving this output from the input of this. So while true, once the loop begins, it will ask, it will just echo, it will just give these values in here. Just simply give the values on which topic you want advice. First is Oracle, second is AWS, third SQL Server, AWS RDS, or you want to do certification. Then it will ask for your input. Enter your choice or 0 for exit. The input which you will be given will be taken as a variable for your choice. And then we have our our case statement, case loop beginning. In the case loop, we have case choice. If the choice value is 1, then the output will be thrown as Oracle through this script. If it is 2, then it will be AWS, and it will be thrown as output received input as Oracle. If it is 3, then received input as SQL Server. 4 means as RDS. Likewise, if you give the value as 0, then it will be breaking the loop. And it will be just displaying the output as OKCU, and then it will break the loop. And if you give any other choice other than these from 0 to 5, then it will be displaying this is not a valid choice. Try a number from 0 to 5. It should be from 0 to 5. And then it will again come to the loop. So let us run the script. Let me give the output as 1. As I told earlier that it will be just displaying the values in here, and then it will ask means you need to put your choice. I'm putting my choice as 1. So it gave the output, received your input as Oracle, and again it came back to the loop and it is asking my choice again. So I'll give my choice as certification. So it gave the output as received your input as certification. So now it again came back to the loop. Now how means if I give some other characters, as I told earlier, this is not a valid choice. Try a number from 0 to 5. It will be displaying as this. Now if you want to break from the loop, how do you do it? 0. So it will be breaking from the loop. Okay, see you. And my loop, while loop is exited. Next, let us go to back to our document. Continue building. The continue statement resumes iteration of an enclosing for, while, until or select loop. So when used in for a for loop, the controlling variable takes on the value of the next element in the list. When used in a while or until construct, on the other hand, execution resumes with test command at the top of the loop. So here what we'll be doing is, we'll be creating files with this one, everything as lowercase. Here we have S and T in uppercase. Here we have S in uppercase. We'll be creating these files. And what this script will be doing, it will be searching for the uppercase characters. For name in, for TE, then star.log, it will be searching for the uppercase characters. And then if it gets any uppercase characters, then only the for loop will be executed, or else it won't be executed. So if there is any uppercase in name, then continue with the for loop. So what does for loop? This continue, this clause helps to verify for a condition, and only when the condition falls true, it will allow you to go into the loop. If the condition is false, it will break out of the loop. So let me run this. So what it will be doing is, this script has been made in such a way, what it will be doing is, the uppercase files will be converted to lowercase. So currently in our scripting directory, we have these files with uppercase and lowercase. Now if I run this, let me show you this. It is the same script. If I run this, what it will be doing, all the new name for test2.log is in everything is smaller cases. Similarly, test3.log, everything is in smaller case. So you can see in here that the values changed in here also. So like this, you can change your upper cases to lower cases. Next, menu making. Here, the select construct is only used to generate a menu. So the select construct allows easy menu generation. That means it will make sure it gives numbers for each and every option. In the previous example, I just did echo for everything. But here, I do not need to do echo, but it will give the output. So number one, for number one, it is option 1. For number 2, it is option 2, like this. And these options are something that you specify in the list here. But writing them in a proper menu format is what your select will take care of. And after writing them, it will also allow you to give your respective commands, so that you can act according to the option that people will select out of this list. So let me read this out. List is expanded, generating a list of items. So in here, in our directory, these are the list. So this will be generated with an option 1, 2, 3, like that. Then the expansion is printed to a standard error. Each item is preceded by a number, which we did earlier with our echo command. This will be doing with select, we can do it easily. If in list is not present, the positional parameters are printed. as if in $A would have been specified. List is only printed once. Upon printing all the items, the PS3 prompt is printed and one line from standard input is read. That means after the menu is printed by the select statement, it will basically wait for the user to give the input. So once user gives input out of this list, it will read that input to a variable. And if this list consists of a number corresponding to one of the items, the value of word is set to the name of that item. If the line is empty, the items and the PS3 prompt are displayed again. That means the menu, if there are only 5 options, if you are typing 6, the same menu will be displayed again. But if you give 3, then whatever value is there for the third option, that value will be assigned to the variable. If an EOF end of file character is read, the loop exits. Since most users don't have a clue which key combination is used for the EOF sequence, it is more user friendly to have a break command as one of the items. So as soon as you want to execute or capture something, make sure you break it. Else your select statement will not actually break out of the loop. Any other value of the read line will set word to be a null. The read line is saved in the reply variable. We will see this in our lab reply variable. The respective commands are executed after each selection until the number representing the break is read. This exits the loop. So let us create a simple menu. I will just create it and I will show you the output. So this script can make any of the directories or any of the files in this directory private. This will be echoing. Then it will be ask displaying the output as enter the name of the file you want to protect. Then select file name in star. This means file name is the variable. This means that in the current directory, pull everything into the menu. After select statement, it displays the menu. You select an option. After which you are saying to display what I have selected and then change the permission of the file to 700. And because you did not put break, again the loop gets continued. So let me execute it. You can see here that it took everything which is present in our directory. Test like this, everything is present. So let me take this. So for wait.sh, what is the value? 32. So I need to give the value as 32. You picked wake.sh and now it is only accessible to you. Now let me see. So you can see the value changed. Now let us go to our next example. In the next example, in this example, the same script is redesigned in a better format. So let me just print it first, edit in here. So here what it is doing, this is the same thing. Then enter the number of the file Then PS3. If you want a user-defined choice to be created, the variable value should be PS3. So your file, your choice in file number. Then quit. This is making a directory called quit. Quit this program. And this is making a file called quit. Quit this program. Select file name in. Then in case if it is quit, then it will be exiting with a break command, or if it is something else, it will be giving the output. So let me run this. So you can see in here that with this quit, we got one more output in here, or one more file created in here. And let me give the let me take this 15. So you pick things dot. So this one is changed. Now let me take break.sh 4. So it is changed. And now I need to come out of the loop. How do I do it? It should be 18. So I came out of the loop. So let me see whether these also changed or not. So you can see the values changed to read only 700. I hope you are clear till this. So let us go to our next topic, which is variables. As we already saw, Bash understands many different kinds of variables or parameters. Thus far, we haven't bothered much with what kind of variables we assign. So our variables could hold any value that we assign to them. So in this activity, let me take this variable and paste it in here. So currently my variable is 14. And if I do echo dollar variable, then 14 is displayed. Similarly, I am changing this to variable as character. And then echo, it's coming. Next, there are cases when you want to avoid this kind of behavior. For instance, when handling a telephone number or any other numbers. Apart from integers and variables, you may also want to specify a variable is constant. So, what you need to do is, there are some options, declare built-in options. If you want to make the variable as an array variable, or you want to use only function names, or to be treated as only integers, then you can take these declare built-in functions from here, and then you can go ahead. Like hyphen a is for variable is an array, hyphen I is for integer. Similarly, hyphen f is for function name. Likewise, we have these options. So now, if I put this declare hyphen I variable equals to 14, down echo dollar variable, it is 14. Now, if you want to give variable as character, will this be displayed as character? No, it came to 0 because I have already declared that it should be an integer, means a number. Next, constants. In case if you want to make a variable as read-only variable, you can use read-only as a prefix. Read-only, then option, then variable. So, read-only infra equals to training and certify. Infra experts train and certify. So, now this file is read-only. This variable is read-only variable. Now, if you want to put something else in here, like infra experts equals to travel. So, will I be able to change my variable? No, because it will give in the output. as error as it is a read-only variable. Next, I hope you are clear till this. Next, operations on variable. Echo $shell, as we know, it will be giving the output as in which shell you are. Now, if you give echo dollar in flower braces hash shell, what it will be doing is, if you want to know the length of the characters in the variable, then you need to give this in flower braces with hash. So it has 9. 4 plus 3, 7, then 9. So it's giving the length of the characters. Next, removing substrings. Means if you want to cut the value of a variable from a specific length to a specific length, like if you give this export string, this is a very long name. Now echo string 4. So echo string 4 does this. What it will be doing is, it will just cut this, the first 4 characters, and then display the output. So the first 4 characters has been cut, and then from is a very long name has been displayed. Now if you want some characters in between, how will you do it? Here what it is doing, from 6 means till 6 is this, from this is cut, then 5 characters after that is taken. So this will be the output for this. So I believe I am able to explain you properly. Next comes replacing. So in case if you want to search for some pattern and replace with another pattern in the variable value. So here what it will do is, we already have string. This is a very long name. So it will be replacing from the string, it will be replacing the name with string value. So if I do this, you can see this is a very long name has been replaced with this is a very long string. Similarly, if you want to replace long with string, this is a very string name. So I believe I am able to explain you, and this concludes my session today with all break and continue and loops, everything. So in our next session, we will be discussing on functions, signals, traps and everything. So we might have some 1 or 2 sessions only left before we conclude with our shell scripting session. So I hope you have liked this session. Please do comment, share and subscribe, like. Thanks a lot for watching the video. Take care.